All right, the first thing about these grills, you need to know all the parts that goes into making this grill work and operate. The main thing, the brains of it, is called our controller. Now our controller has color-coded wires, so you can match that up to the right auger or the right muffin fan or hot rod. They all go together and they all have their specific color design in our manual. The piece that actually gets the fire started is called the hot rod. It actually plugs into the purple and white wire of the controller. This is only on for the first 4 minutes of your grill being turned on. It gets red hot and starts the pellets to where they start smoking. In conjunction with that hot rod on, the muffin fan actually creates a draw through and gives that combustion air into the fire pot, and that's what starts the pellets to help them smoke and then catch fire. The next moving part is the auger motor, which plugs up to the red and white wire on the controller. The auger motor spins the auger in order to drop pellets in to maintain the temperature. With the auger motor turning on and off is done by the Rtd Sensor. The Rtd Sensor is this little rod that sticks inside the grill, and then these two leads go back to the actual controller, which is actually the green terminal blocks. When the temperature drops below the set point, this Rtd sensor sends a signal back, turns on the auger motor, drops more pellets in to keep the fire going. We've cleared away the parts, and now I've brought out the burner assembly to kind of show you and do some quick troubleshooting with you for you and your customers. Now, one of the first things that you want to look at, say your customer has an issue saying that he is receiving ERL. Well, a couple things you want to watch out for. You can watch the customer video that we have made previously. This is going to be some other topics that you will have to check out yourself just to make sure the things are working correctly. Now, the first thing, normally what would go wrong with the grill would be the hot rod. And a sign to this that the hot rod went out is that when the customer goes to turn on the grill, nothing appears to come up. There's nothing. The screen is dead. Now, the way to repair this is to go ahead and have the customer bring the grill to you. You have the grill in the back, and you want to go ahead and check this out and see what is the issue. Now, in order to narrow down which part is causing the problem to occur, you need to unplug the grill from the power. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to unplug all the connections to everything but the power cord. So you unplug the auger motor, you unplug the muffin fan, and you unplug the hot rod. Therefore, you have these three sitting here right now. Now, what you're going to do, the grill is still unplugged. You'll take the front panel off of the controller, take that away from the hopper cover, and you'll pull the fuse and check to see if the fuse is blown. If the fuse is blown, there's a spare fuse that's zip tied to it. You can cut that zip tie, put the new fuse in. Now, you still want to leave these unplugged. Attach your control board back to the hopper, okay? That is very, very key, because if you let the control panel just hang loose and you plug the grill back up to the power, it can short out the control board, and then you'll be having to warranty another control board for your customer. So very importantly, after you change the fuse, mount the control board physically back to the hopper or the front panel of the grill. Now that you have that done, you go ahead and plug the grill back up. Now, what you're going to want to do is to plug each component up one at a time. All right? You turn on the grill and you plug up the muffin fan first, which goes to the orange and white wire, and you plug that in. The fan should kick on and continue to run. If for some reason the fan stops and the light goes off on your control panel, you know that was the issue to replace. Then refer to our how to change the muffin fan video. All right, that works. It's still going. It's going strong. It's doing good. Now you take the auger motor. You take the auger motor's wires, which is the red dot, and you plug that up to the red and white wire. Once you plug that in, make sure the grill's turned on and see what happens. If the grill continues to run, this piece here is spinning, the fan. If the fan is spinning and going strong, you're good. Those two pieces are good. And then the only piece you have left to try now is the hot rod. Well, since you know that the only piece that you have not plugged up is the hot rod, that is the one that's causing the fuse to blow. So what you're going to want to do is refer to our hot rod video, and it'll show you how to replace this hot rod along with the fuse in the control board. Now, a few things also to look for when a customer calls you and says his grill's not lighting. You want to ask them to make sure the big fan is turning, which is located right here, and you want to ask him, and if they say yes, then you want to ask them to check the pellets and the hopper. Just want to make sure that the pellets are not wet, that the pellets are fresh, and there's no dust or moisture exposure for the pellets. So a few things, again, when you go back to check them, you always want to have each one unplugged individually. And that way you have your hot rod, your muffin fan, or your auger motor, and your muffin fan are all completely unplugged. And again, go back to that step, plug in one at a time, leaving the hot rod for the last. But that's how you troubleshoot to figure out which piece is actually causing you the problem with the grill, and that's one thing you want to check. Now, the only thing I really haven't discussed, I did mention it in the controller section of our videos, is this Rtd sensor. Now, if this Rtd sensor ever reads 0 while the grill is on, you have to replace the Rtd sensor. That's a sign. Now, usually what that means is that there's a short somewhere in the wire, and that's what has occurred. So they will need a new Rtd sensor. If they ever see their digital board read 0 and it's not 0 degrees outside, they need to check the Rtd sensor. Now, this will cause a couple problems too, because when it reads 0, it thinks it's below 120 degrees. So then it's going to go to a relight sequence and try to relight. And then it's going to check the temperature again. And then it's still going to be under 120 degrees, and so it's going to shut off and say ERL. So if you have a customer complaining about an ERL code, also ask him to make sure to see what the grill temperature is when he first turns on the grill. It should be the ambient air temperature, not 0 degrees. If it's reading 0 degrees, there is a problem. Now, another thing to also check that this could be a problem is if the customer says it's reading 620 degrees or 520 degrees. If it's reading a high number when he first turns on the grill, that's a sign that this Rtd sensor is not connected properly. And so you can try the connections on the terminal block, or you can replace the Rtd sensor. That's some quick troubleshooting for this grill. If you got any more questions, please do not hesitate to give your salesman a call or call our 1-877-GRILL-EM, or you can email us too.